in prison on his way to Rome. And while Paul is writing these letters, he's addressing the certain challenges that they have. Now, the challenges that they have at that specific time does not necessarily mean we don't have it. So when he wrote to them, it's a universal struggle, which we also have. So when we look at the letters of Paul and how Paul wrote it to the ancient church, we can derive from that or induce from that what they have struggled with is the challenges that we have today, and we can take what Paul is saying.
So, although he's writing to the churches that are existing at the time, to his brothers right there and then, because they were facing certain problems.
Yeah.
They were facing certain problems. He was addressing that's a letters written to them.
Yep, that's right.
Now, I'll come back again. How is this written to you guys? Because he's not addressing you. He's not speaking to you. And Paul never ever thought in his life that his letters would be scripture, or he doesn't even mention his letters to be a scripture, not once.
Yeah, Paul doesn't necessarily have to write his letters as a scripture that should be in the Bible. He doesn't write it. It's not necessary for him to emphasize this should be in the Bible. If that is the case, then Paul is literally writing the Bible that we have today, and it's not the inspired word of God, then it's the inspired word of Paul. But the letters that Paul have written to these, like I said earlier on, is that the struggles that the Corinthians and all the Romans and all these churches, the Ephesians, the Galatians, and all of these people had, is the struggles that we have today. Let me make reference. The church of Corinth, they were struggling. They were having challenges. They were having challenges in their leadership. They were having challenges with their members. They were having challenges financially, because Paul does mention to these churches is take this church and take this money and elevate the church, etc., building the church. Do you think that type of challenges that they had then is the challenges that we don't have now?
Of course we don't have those challenges today.
Okay, so when leadership in churches fight amongst one another in decision making, the most appropriate thing to do here is to go and see what happened in the scripture. You would agree, right?
Yeah, I like the example you make about leadership fighting. We don't see leadership fighting in any of Paul's letters.
No. How can I put it now? I have a strong church background. Okay? So in the leadership, if there is leadership quabbles, or there is challenges in leadership, particularly in churches today, the first thing that we do is what the Bible says is, do not take your brother to court. What must you do? You must settle the matter amongst yourself first. Right? So Paul is talking about that. Don't take your brother to court. Settle the matter amongst yourselves. So if they settle the matter amongst themselves, where do we get that from? We get that from the Bible, the letters of Paul. So Paul is addressing challenges of Corinth which we face today in church generally. So I don't think that he's just writing it today and therefore we have to negate it. No, it happens everywhere.
So it's quite funny to me. It's like a bit strange to me. You make a good example, I must say. But in Paul's letters, he doesn't address people fighting in the church. And when he addresses about the very same thing that you speak about, don't take your brother to court, sort it out before the time. That's just advice onto as to, don't take them to the Sanhedrin. The court at the time was the Sanhedrin. It wouldn't have been a court like what we know today.
But the Sanhedrin is the knowers of the law.
That's what I'm saying. It would only refer back to God's law, not the government of the earth or whatever. It's a Sanhedrin.
But that's why we said. That's what we said. If there's any quabbles within a church today, don't go outside of the church. Settle the matter. In other words, if you have to settle the matter, look into God's law. Look into what God is saying. That is, and then see if it's beyond reproach, if it's beyond repair, and you take your brother to court, Well, you've got to take him to court based on your valid reason. But before you do, look into the church, because we can settle the matter over here if it is a small matter or a major matter or whatever. Just as an example, white churches. There's many white churches today that faces separation because of matters that is not being dealt with in church. Colored churches, black churches, whatever the case may be, that happens, right? And so, what is the first thing in theology when you go to theology school, when you deal with the law of ethics? The first thing that they teach you is deal with the matter here. Don't go out. Where do we get that from? Jesus doesn't talk about it in any sense. The disciples doesn't talk about it. But who talks about it? Paul. Paul is dealing with the theology of building churches, maintaining churches, and developing churches. Look, for example, in the book of Revelation. Jesus speaks to the 7 lampstands, which is known as the menorah, which is, according to the book of Revelation, the 7 churches. He's talking to the churches on this. He is telling us in the book of Revelation, this is the pitfalls that you have to look out for, and this is how you settle the matter. If you do not settle the matter according to what I tell you here, then note that on the day of judgment, this is what I'm going to have against you. You see? So it is internal. You have to deal with it internal first.
So when a matter like graping arises, do you take it internal or do you take it directly to the courts?
In today's time?
I mean, you say this belongs to you for today, the letters.
Yeah. So
obviously today's time.
Yeah. So in today's time, graping is a transgression of the governmental law. It's a violation of the human right, and it exposes females. So that is not an act that is godly. That is an act which is lustful. So you're dealing with lust, and that is a violation of the human right. I do not expect any church to keep it a secret, because you cannot deal with it. You have to let the courts deal with it. So settle the matter outside. Now, let's say for example, it is a church leader that has graped a church member. I'm saying, look at the inside. Look at the inside. Come together as brothers. Make your cognitive decision based on what has happened and transpired. The law is abundantly clear, because the Bible is saying you have to obey the laws of the land. That's what the Bible is saying. So if we obey the laws of the land, take that person to court, let him go to prison, until such time he's found innocent or guilty. That is not a matter for the church to keep silent. That would be wrong.
Graping is actually a law of God. It's not the law of the land.
No, it's not. You have to prove that to me.
Okay, I'll give it to you.
Okay, give me a second. Pull up your sources, and then we can talk about it. Okay, you got the sources? Let me give you.
Yeah, go to
Let me give you a big.
Deuteronomy chapter.
Oh, Deuteronomy.
Deuteronomy chapter. Yeah, 22. You
Deut-
can start at verse 25.
Deuteronomy chapter 22, 25. But if a man finds a betrothed damsel in the field, and the man forces her and lie with her, then the man only that lie with her shall do what? Die. Okay?
Is that the law?
No.
I mean,
A law
It's
to
telling
break.
you if a man, just hold on.
Mm-hmm.
This is Deuteronomy that we're talking about.
That's right.
Okay, it's the law, Torah.
Yep.
It tells us. But if a man finds a girl who is engaged in the field and the man sees her and lies with her forcefully, then only the man who lies with her shall be unalived.
Yep.
Why is he getting unalived?
Because he is breaking the law. See, she is betrothed, right? Correct?
I don't know.
No,
Tell me.
it says betrothed. How did you misread
So
that?
why
She's
is he
betrothed.
why is he getting unalived?
He is forcing himself on a woman that is betrothed to another man. He's breaking the law.
Okay, now go down to verse 28 and 9. Let's see.
All right, verse 28. If a man finds a damsel, now that's a virgin, which is not betrothed. Do you see? There's the difference. And lay hold of her and lie with her, and they be found, then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and shall say, and she shall be his wife, because he has humbled her. He may not put her away all the day of his life. Now, can we make the comparison between 28, 29 and verse 25?
Yeah, you can. You can if you want to. I'll explain after you.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's make the comparison. Verse 25. In verse 25, but if a man finds a betrothed damsel. So in verse 25, this girl is engaged to be married to someone else. So if she is married to betrothed or engaged to be married to someone else, and you come find her in the field and you violate that woman, remember, she is to be a virgin to the betrothed man. But if you come and violate that covenant that was established between the two, you breaking the law of marriage. You doing it. So now, what is more acceptable here is, because you are violating the law of God, you shall be put to be unalived. Now let's go to verse 28 and 29. It says, if a man finds a damsel that is a virgin. Now the difference between 25 and 28 is that the damsel in 25 is already engaged, but the one that is here in 28 is not engaged. She is a virgin. Now if you grape that girl, she is not engaged or has a covenant with someone else. She then has to wait for her father to make the announcement. In other words, you as a man should have come to the father for the hand of the virgin. He didn't. He violated the law. So now what happens here? She's not betrothed. She is still a virgin, and it can be proven. You have violated this woman. You shall then marry her. In basic biblical history or knowledge, if you have intercourse with a virgin, it's like you are married. So this is what happens in 28 and 29.
Okay. Remember what I told you. It is a law of God. That graping is a law of God.
That is what you said, yes.
Yeah. So is it a law of God?
Graping is not a law of God. I just explained it in 2 verses.
No. I don't know if I've shown you 2 verses.
Yep.
And the reason why I gave you 2 verses, right? The first one, it's not because she's married. It's because he took her and he slept with her while she is engaged, forcefully. Engagement is not marriage. I don't know if you understand there's a difference. If you are engaged to someone, you're not yet married. It's just a promise. That's it. You're not allowed to touch the woman until the marriage is consecrated. And you understand Jewish marriages, if you understand how it works, right? It must be consecrated in a bedroom, right? And there must be a sheet that comes out to show that she's a virgin. If she's not a virgin, then the man's father, the woman's father, must pay the man, because he has found her not to be a virgin or something like that. The law states that.
Yep.
So why I'm showing you the 2 verses is because the one is forcefully taken and the other one is just laying with the virgin. It's not a thing. The one says laying with the virgin, and now you must accept her and take her. It's not grape. The first verse I showed you is the grape part. He is taking a woman forcefully. It literally tells you forcefully taking her and sleeping with her. Now, if I force you to drink poison, what am I doing?
You're forcing me to die.
Exactly. The Bible determines that raping a woman is as taking her life. That's why it must be paid with life. It's in the law. It's a life for a life. If you take a woman forcefully, you've destroyed her. And you know this. I mean, we know this. If any man takes a woman forcefully, it's destroying that woman forever. It's always going to be in her mind, fearful for men, fearful to be touched by a man or so forth. Even if she's engaged, and she's been forcefully taken to lie down with another man who she's not engaged with, she's not going to be the same afterwards.
I agree.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you're not actually engaging with the two verses. You're
I'm
answering my
engaging the
question.
two verses. I'm showing you.
You're answering my question. Sorry,
So-
you're answering my response.
No, let me show you some samples here. In verse 22, it says, when a man founds lying with a woman married to a husband, both of them speaking about adultery.
Sorry, just say again, Torah.
So I'm just going to give you examples, right? Like if you look at verse 20, it says, but if a matter is true that the girl was found not to be a maiden, a virgin, then they shall bring out the girl to the door in her father's house, and the man of the city shall stone her if she's found not to be a virgin. Okay,
Based on the
it's a
accusation.
different case. It's a law. It's a law on its own.
Yep.
Now we come down to verse 22. When a man is found lying with a woman married to a husband, now it gives you a different law, which we all know it's adultery, because both must be stoned.
Correct.
Now we come down to verse 23. It says, when a girl who is a virgin is engaged to a husband, meaning she's going to be someone's husband soon, and a man finds her in the city and lies with her forcefully, then you shall bring them both out to the and lies with her. Then you shall bring them both out to the gates of the city, and you shall stone them both. Meaning, if she's engaged and she still chooses to lie with this man, both of them are guilty. They will be stoned. Now we come to the verse. I'm actually addressing verse 25 because it gives a different account. It says, "But if a man finds a girl who is engaged in the field," now this is a different story now.
Yep.
Now he finds this woman in the field, and the man sees her and lies with her forcefully.
Is the woman?
There's a force happening.
So the woman
Right?
is engaged, right?
Yes, but she's not allowing this man to touch her. She didn't want to sleep with this man. He's forcing himself on her.
Yep.
Now it gives the case of how this matter must be handled. It says, then only the man who lies with her shall unalive. Only the man and not the woman. So we have these different cases. If a maiden sleeps with another man openly, both of them, if she's forcefully taken, that is rape. God gives a law that he shall be unalived.
That is correct.
And he explains, he says, but you shall do no matter to the girl. The girl has no sin worthy of death. For the matter is like a man who rises against his neighbor and unalives him. This is how God sees the matter of rape. He says it's the same as unalivement. It's exactly the same. So, is it true that the Torah, God of law, speaks about rape and he gives a rule about it?
Yeah, the act is
Thank
giving
you.
the law about, but that was not your question. What was your?
No, I said.
What was
my
your
question-
initial question at
I
first?
didn't make a question. I
There
made a
was?
statement.
Yeah.
Yeah, my statement was that it's not the land, the laws of the land who came up with the rule of raping. It's God who came up with that rule. I said it's in the Torah.
No, you said raping is a law. That's where I disagreed.
It is a law, like a law that you shouldn't do it because it's
Yeah.
in the law of God.
Now that part that you omitted, that you
Oh, did
shouldn't
you
do it.
understand me as sorry? Did you understand me as graping being permissible? No, hell no, my brother.
Right.
No.
Because
I think we had a misunderstanding.
and I agree with you. I agree with you. Graping, law of the land, instated by Moses. This is a sub law, because the primary law of the Ten Commandments said that thou shalt not desire, right? So I take that
Yeah.
as the Commandments, which is the law of ethics that is there. There's the law of ethics. You shall look at it. Then there is questions around how are we going to deal with this particular law that says thou shalt not desire. Let's go look at the aspects of what desire is. And desiring a woman which is not for you, I agree with you 100%. That is a law of the land, which is in normal speaking terms like we do. We understand that as a bylaw. And where does the bylaw emerge from? From the human rights, which is the Bill of Rights. It comes from there. To interpret the Bill of Rights, we have bylaws, laws and bylaws. Okay, so I agree with you on that. But what I want to
100%.
what I want to also
Can I
look
ask you one thing before you move on? Not a tricky question or anything.
Sure.
Did you ever pick up a wallet or something in your life before?
Yes, I have. I still have it.
And you kept it?
Yeah. No,
Eh?
wait. Wait, quickly. Wait. We were on holiday. No? We were on holiday. So I picked up a wallet of someone. And in the wallet was the ID of this person. Right?
Yeah.
And in this wallet was money. $120, I think. $120. Right? No, there was a $300. Sorry, there's $300. But the $200 is torn, man. But
Torn. Yeah.
The $100 is still okay. And I picked it up, put it in my pocket because I was busy with something else. I picked it up, put it in my pocket, and then went to the car and I said to my wife, can you go onto Facebook or Instagram or whatever and try to get this girl, this particular person. If she is in the nicer reason, because I would love to see this woman and give her a wallet back. Unfortunately, I didn't get hold of her. No way. I didn't get hold of it. But I still have the wallet, and I still have the ID, and I still have the money that is in the wallet. Maybe one day, if it ever so come, then it is still there. There's your answer. I tried my best. I tried my best to get hold of him. You know.
Yeah. So you see, what you've done is a good thing because in the law it tells you to keep the thing.
Yeah.
Until the person comes by. So we never ever allowed to take and use and think, you'll never find a person.
Yeah.
Like your case, you have the wallet with the ID, right?
Still have
so
it.
it's easy to keep and try and contact. But in other cases, you get people like to steal pit bulls, and it's the best example I'm going to use.
Okay.
Here they see a pit bull puppy walking in the street.
Yo. What's up, man?
Yes. Just give us a minute. Okay.
Yo, can y'all hear me?
Tora, just let me. Yes, we can hear you.
Yo,
Are you a rapper or something? Because you keep on yo. Are you a rapper? You're making a song?
can you hear me?
We can hear you. Can you hear us, Allah? Can you hear us? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You must do the
I can hear you, man.
You in the wind. Yes, you are in the wind. I can't hear what you are saying. It's too much
What?
wind. Too much wind noise.
Yeah, so what's the topic, man?
How
We
many-
believe in one God,
Is
not
it?
in three like you.
Is it true? Do you believe in one God?
Yes, we don't believe in three gods like you.
Okay, let me ask you something. Can you explain to me the essence of Allah?
The essence of Allah,
Yep.
that He is one, He has no partners, He has 99 attributes, He doesn't need anyone, and yeah, etc.
That's not the essence of Allah. That's an explanation, but that is not the
What do you
essence.
mean by essence?
Let me say, for example, is Allah omnipresent?
Is Allah omnipresent? No, He's not omnipresent. He's not in my testicles right now or in my balls. No, in my ass. No, He's not omnipresent. Only in His knowledge.
Oh, so His knowledge is in your testicles.
Yeah, Allah is not omnipresent. He's not everywhere. He's not in the toilet.
No,
He's not under my foot.
I'm
Allah
asking
is
you.
above His throne.
I'm asking
Above
you.
the seven heavens.
Yes, I'm asking you. If you say only in His knowledge, I'm asking you: is His knowledge in your testicles right now?
Knowledge does not have a place.
It doesn't
He
have
knows
a.
everything.
It knows everything, right? So His
His
knowledge.
knowledge is present.
His knowledge knows about
His
your.
knowledge is present here.
His knowledge knows about your testicles.
Of course.
Great.
He's not. He's all knowledgeable. He knows about.
Bro,
my
where are you?
He knows
Where are you?
about your
Where are you?
testicles.
You
He's
it's,
God.
no.
God knows everything.
No. Every time
Well,
you
it
talk,
doesn't-
every
your
time you
God-
talk, there's a bird. There's a bird talking. You know, when you talk, there's a bird talking. I know. I talk, there's nothing. When you
Shame,
talk,
man,
there's a bird.
The bird also wants to answer, man. Don't be.
A little bluebird. Like Aisha said, children become bluebirds in heaven. We're not doing that.
Yes, like
Okay, so
Yeah.
Catapult, I think you had another Okay, that was the thing. This is what I wanted to
I
bring
was
up.
saying if someone sees your pit bull outside
Yeah,
walking,
yeah.
I know pit bulls are common to be stolen, right? And well, the Torah addresses like animal, so we take it as any animal, okay? So let's say your neighbor's pit bull is walking down the road, it escapes, it comes, and people take it and they keep it. Do you think that's the right thing to do?
Are you putting me there or someone
Yeah.
else in general?
Yeah, would you keep the dog, or would you look for the owners, or would you keep the dog for yourself?
You're like
and
really,
not look-
you're like really trying me. Yes, I did. One day, someone's husky got lost where I used to stay, and the husky had a rope on his neck. So I took the husky, and I took it home to my home, and in the backyard, let it run in the back. She was quite young. And then on Facebook, I've blasted it on the neighborhood's Facebook page and asked the question, whose dog is this? If it is your dog, collect your dog. And lo and behold, it was my friend's dog who lived a couple of houses away from me. And he picked up he saw the picture and he said, that's mine. I must keep the dog for him. And he even he showed pictures of the dog in his backyard. And yeah, he came to pick it up. You're trying me
100%.
today. I'm not.
No, I want to actually prove something to you that you might not have seen in yourself, and I want to show you that it's always been there. You just need to accept it. It's not tricky questions or anything. I'm not a trickster. I'm always, I only trick the people that I see that are disingenuous with their answers. Some people are very disingenuous, not you, my brother. Other people would not admit to the truth and say, look, yeah, it's there, like. So here's another thing is, this is about women. So if a woman is on a monthly thing, it's 7 days, right, that she goes to complete the cycle.
Yeah.
And most men would wait for the 7 days to finish and then, do their business. Do you think that's right? Do you think it's right?
Most men, based on most men, I know in the Levitical law, and I know a lot of Jews does apply this, where there's the menstrual cycle, because the Bible does say that you have to wait 7 days after the menstrual cycle, in order
Yes.
to engage intercourse wise.
Yes.
Um,
Is that being taught in a Christian church? Because it's very important, and I believe there's a reason why God put that law there, and because we see a lot of women getting sick, they get fibroids. It's a bleeding sickness. Could it be that because of them not doing that waiting out period, it's 14 days you actually have to wait. You know, it's 7 plus 7 days. You have to wait. So because of that not being done properly, we find women having problems like fibroids, which are bleeding stuff, like womb cancers, they call it, you know, things like that, blood in the womb constantly bleeding, you know. Could it be because of not doing that properly that applies now, you know, like to women?
I'm gonna be very honest with you.
Honest. Yeah, just be honest.
I'm gonna be very honest with you. The law is not generally applied, and I don't think the law is just not applied amongst Christians. I think generally it's not applied.
Yeah.
Cystic fibrosis. I don't think that cystic fibrosis is, or that is the reason for cystic fibrosis.
I'm not saying it is. I'm just looking at why certain problems could come. Like, for instance, if you eat food that are not good for you, you'll get sick. Like, you can get diabetes or you can get some sickness. You know, like, that's what I'm referring to. If you do something that's not good for the body, and it's not going to work out good for the body. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I think I will still have to. I don't have a proper answer for you on that.
No, it's good.
Medically-wise,
I mean,
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know.
that's the best answer for me. The honest answer is the best answer. And here's one more question: do you believe that Eve comes from Adam's rib?
If that is what the verse is saying, then yeah, I'm gonna go
But
with
it
it.
doesn't. It doesn't say that Eve comes from Adam's rib.
Okay, now you have to explain as to why. Why do you believe that?
I see now you're excited to know why.
Now you have
And I'm
to.
just sharing. And today I didn't come up just to debate, my bro. I came up here to like just share common things, you know, like there's a lot that a lot of Christians are actually doing, like that they follow the Torah and they don't know it. It's
Okay.
embedded in their heart. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, thank you for having me here. How are you doing?
Hakam, all good yourself?
Good afternoon.
I'm doing well, Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Okay.
So, I have one question, yeah, because if we go back to history, to the first prophet, yeah, no, let's say from Noah, Prophet Noah, yeah, till the last prophet before Jesus. So, all these prophets, yeah, did they ever worship a triune God
I
before
think
Jesus?
I think the prompt here today is not the Trinity is logical. I think the prompt is how many gods is in Islam.
One. But in Christianity, it seems you have three.
Okay, so that's back to the
Three
Trinity.
in one.
So I think that's back to the Trinity. I would like to focus on the fact that you said one. There is one God in Islam, right?
One God who has no partners, who has no son.
No
Yes.
partners, no son. One God, only one.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Let's look at the one God analogy in Islam. So if Allah says He's the one God according to chapter 3 verse 18, then there is no other God or no other gods exist besides Allah. Correct?
Yes.
All right, so let's look at this. If you have to define the nature of Allah, what would be the essential attributes to determine what a God is?
Well, he is ever living. He never dies. He never sleeps. He never eats. He doesn't need nothing. He is self-sufficient. He provides. He's all hearing, all knowing, all seeing, and many things. So that's a short thing to explain to you.
Okay, so
So
the
what do you
first,
think about? What do you
the-
think? What do you think about it?
yeah, the first four things that you've mentioned is in
No,
relation
no.
to that.
What
No,
do
no,
you what do you think about?
I'm
Are you agreed
I'm-
upon?
I'm
No, listen,
answering
listen, listen, listen. Are you agreed that these are the characteristics of God?
No,
That he is all seeing, all knowing, all wise, never dies, self-sufficient, provides,
That is-
and gives life.
that is the
Do you
characteristic.
agree upon that?
That is the characteristics. But what you spoke about,
But
never
do
eats,
you
never
do you
sleeps.
agree? Listen, listen.
Hakim.
Before you go,
Hakim.
you have to agree.
You
have
see,
to agree upon that.
why is this
No,
happening?
listen. Are you agree upon that? Yes or no? What I just have described about God.
Yes, Hakim.
Are you agree upon this?
Hakim, are you okay?
Yes or no? Are you agree upon this?
Are
Yes
you
or no?
are you okay?
If you not agree, then this discussion is
Did I
will
say
end.
yes or did I say no? Did I say yes or no? Oh my God.
That's why I'm asking.
Did
do you
I say
agree?
yes or no? You know when you were
I didn't
yapping?
hear nothing.
When
I
you
didn't
yeah,
hear
because you
nothing.
must learn
That's
decorum.
why. That's
You must
why
learn
I'm asking
decorum,
you
Hakim.
again.
Hakim.
So what is
You're
it? So what
Kegi.
is it? Do you
Kegi.
agree upon that? Yes or no?
Dis altyd so. Altyd.
Do you agree upon that? What I just said.
Hakim.
What I just, how I
Hy
just,
deflect. Hy
Oh.
deflect. Hy wil nie daar gaan
Ay,
nie.
bali aangaan nie.
listen. How I just described God.
Hakim,
Do you agree
Hakim,
upon that?
Hakim.
Yes or no? Do you agree upon that?
Akam, just listen, bro. I mean, you come up here disrespectful and
Oh.
you just have to respect the host. I
It's-
mean, if
it's-
you want to have a dialogue,
Is-
you must have it properly, not a monologue. Okay?
Yeah, if you drink too much on a Saturday, my friend, that is not a mosque. Let me see. Is it Kuzaima?
No, Greatly was first, I think.
Yo, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, Creality. You and Creality is going to talk on that specific subject.
Okay.
But yeah, Kazuma, you good?
Yeah. Yeah, I have a quick question.
Yeah, sure.
Would you agree that if we don't find any instances where Jesus is prophesied in the Old Testament, that would serve as good independent reasoning to reject Jesus as the Messiah?
Can you deal with the topic here today, man?
Yeah. So, okay. Yeah, one.
What is one? What do you mean when you say one?
Yeah, how many gods is in Islam? It's one.
Oh, only one, right?
Yeah, only one true God, but there might be like you can use like God to describe false gods. Like you can say that all of your gods are trash. That's obviously meant to describe false gods, not true gods.
Sure. All right. That's not a problem. Would you agree that the essential attributes of Allah it would be? Or what do you think is the essential attributes of Allah?
The independent,
Essential attributes.
the intrinsic. What are you saying? You're muffled.
Essential attributes
Yeah, the
of Allah.
essential.
Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, those can be used to describe like his sight, his justness, etc.
Okay, that is attributes. So that is attributes outside of his essentialness. So to explain Allah in his essential capacity, it would be he's omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent, etc. Right?
Yeah, that would include knowing, like I said. What are you talking about?
No, that's something else that you were talking about. When I'm talking about the omniproperties, I'm referring to this is the essential attributes of Allah. Do you see? That makes him God.
Continue.
So if he
Yeah,
is the
continue.
only one that possess, the essential attributes, then nothing else in any shape or form can be God. It's only applied to him, right?
You mean, yeah, I can grant that.
Okay, sure. Now, there's something interesting that I would love to discuss. It says in a hadith of At-Tirmidhi 1963, which I've come.
Wait. I might cut. I might cut out randomly because my light is bad, so I might cut out randomly. So continue.
No, it's good. Just tell me if you couldn't hear what I was saying, and then we can pick it up.
Yeah.
Again. It says Allah's messenger said, fasting and the Quran intercedes for a man. Fasting says, "Oh my Lord, I have kept him away from his food and his passion by day, so accept my intercession for him." The Quran says, "I have kept him away from sleep by night, so accept my intercession for him." Then their intercession is accepted. Now, if there is, for example, 2 billion Muslims in the world today, right? how come fasting is all knowledgeable of what Muslims, when Muslims fast or don't fast?
Yeah, so when we use to describe all knowledge, this fact wouldn't include all knowledge. This would just include a lot of facts. So your point already fails flat.
Can you
Terrible
prove?
point, bro.
No. Can you prove that it fall flat?
Yeah, so you said that the epistemic, the external qualities of God must be only to Him. I could grant that. However, those must be in essence due to Him, like by nature. Something else can possess them. Something else could possess some attributes of it. Like I can know like what the time is right now, but that doesn't mean I have the attribute of all knowledge. Do you understand?
Okay. Now, it's interesting that you said that in essence something can possess all knowledge. That is fascinating, and I can see you already making my point. But just listen to this.
I'm
If
saying
fast,
somebody could believe that, yeah.
no, not could believe.
Continue.
I'm not talking about could believe, right?
No, I'm granting that. I'm granting that.
Okay, so now, so if for example, fasting, here is fasting, right? And fasting come to testify on your behalf. If Allah is all knowledgeable, what is the purpose of fasting to come and tell Him that you have fasted?
Yeah, so simply, like, let me give you an example. In a court, let's say one person, he already knows the decision. However, he puts us, he makes there be an independent court tellers for us to be able to know our own blame. So we can know our blame, not just the judge. So the purpose could be simply that he wants the people to know their own blame, so he's making another person explain it to them.
Great. Now, what is
Simple response.
so what is the ontological status of the knowledge by which fasting testifies?
Excuse me?
What is
In
the
what sense? What's that?
what is the ontological status of knowledge by which fasting come to testify? What is the ontological status here?
Yeah, can you further elaborate on what you mean by ontological status?
Okay. Give me a second.
What's that picking out?
Yeah, let me just creality. Just give me a second. Woo! Reality! Alive! You alive, brother! Let me mute you for a minute. Sorry, yeah. I think he's busy in the kitchen. Okay. So when I talk about the ontology, the ontology of fasting, it would be the action that it takes, right? At this specific event, which is Judgment Day. And this created, because fasting will now be a created entity, or I think I'm gonna stay with that 3. Hey baby, you good? Yes. No problem. All right, so that would be the ontology of fasting would be it's an action, right? Because you do fast, so that is an action that takes place. And then, is this a created entity in order for it to come and testify on your behalf? Pardon.
Yeah, so that's not what ontology means. Ontology is simply the philosophical study of like the human being. So you're not defining your terms correctly.
No.
But I'll continue with what you're saying. I'll continue. It's alright.
Okay, so
Yeah. So
all right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Let me just get in there before I forget. Ontology is not the study of a human being. Ontology is the study of a being, not a human being.
yeah, that's what I said.
Okay, great.
I said
great.
a being.
A being,
Yeah.
right? Nice. Keep it there.
Yeah. Yeah, so your claim was simply like failed simply because you're trying to attribute omniscience to the entity which you're saying is fasting. However, this wouldn't apply since the entity of fasting doesn't know all things and thus can't be described with the attribute of omniscience. If fasting knew everything, then you can make that case. However, the hadith doesn't make that claim, right? So therefore, your claim just falls flat.
Oh, wait, hold on. I think we need to read
It's
the
a terrible argument.
hadith. I think,
Yeah, you just did.
I think we need to read the hadith. because nowhere in the claim is that it is all knowing, right? But we can
Yeah, so
say that fasting is all knowing about everyone that is fasting, correct?
Yeah, we can say that in essence because God gives that attribute to this entity, which you're saying is fasting.
Right.
Yeah, one can say that, yeah.
So now note, you said God gives it to this entity. All right. You said God gives
Continue.
it. Okay. So now,
Continue.
if for example, Allah is all knowing, if for example He is all knowing and knows about everything, fasting, which we agreed upon, is not all knowing but only in relation to the act of fasting. Why is fasting required if Allah, who is superior, is already all knowing of what you are doing? Why is fasting required?
Bro. Okay, look. As I stated already, simply that Allah can give this attribute of fasting in order to teach us a lesson, in order for us to have this knowledge via an external entity, right? What's the reductio absurdum? What's the problem with that?
Okay.
You've not provided a problem yet.
Okay, so Allah gives or grant fasting the ability to know who is fasting, right?
Continue.
Well, you agree with me?
Yeah, I'm granting that.
Right, great. Now, let's discuss fasting in its entirety. If fasting does not exist in our world, fasting is only practiced in our world. Fasting exists.
No, I disagree.
So, okay, does fasting exist, and as what does fasting exist in our world?
Yeah, so fasting can simply pick out the rewards of fasting. Like Ahmed, you know, as you call him, Imam Ahmed, he stated that in an interpretation of a hadith which says that that the fasting will come. He said that this means the rewards of fasting will come. So it's not the attribute of fasting which is going to come; it's the rewards of fasting which is going to come.
No, wait a minute.
So you have to pick that out.
Before we get to the rewards of fasting, I'm getting to the rewards of fasting. You said fasting exists in our world, but fasting is unseen in our world. It's only our practice of fasting that exists. Like you, as a Muslim, would fast in the month of Ramadan. That's a practice. That does not mean that fasting itself exists in our possible world, right?
The entity of continue.
Do you
I'll see
agree
your
with me?
point.
It's a practice.
Yes, it can pick out a practice. Yeah.
No, it is not can. You do fast, so it is a practice.
Yeah, so simply fasting can pick out lots of things. You could be equivocating. So I'm saying that it can pick out the action. It doesn't necessarily have to pick out something else.
Equivocate to what?
It can pick out something else.
Fasting
In
is,
language.
when I say equivocate, or when you said it can be equivocated, equivocate to what exactly?
Yeah, so the point is that you can be equivocating on what fasting means exactly. Like fasting can pick out, like for example, an entity with the name of it. You're not expanding on your priors.
No. When
Yes, bro.
no, listen to what I was saying. I was saying fasting does not exist in our world as an entity. Fasting is only a practice. That's why you fast in the month of Ramadan. Fasting does not exist. It's not here. You cannot physically see it, touch it. It's not tangible. It cannot be. So it only exists in the abstract world by the practice that is being performed in our world, right?
Yeah, that doesn't necessarily follow as it can be invisible, but I'll grant you it. Continue.
It is not can, it is invisible because we cannot see it. Now,
Yeah, I'm granting it to you.
if fasting exists in the abstract world, how come fasting is familiar with the actions that humans partake in the world, in our world? How does fasting familiarize itself with your actions?
Yeah, that can be just Allah can assign the attribute, the name of fasting, to another entity and use that to be called as fasting. can you provide the reductio absurdum? The
Okay.
problem with that.
Okay. So let me continue with this. So if
Bro, this
that
is a terrible argument.
no, this is something that you can't
know
answer
where you
because
get
this
it
is
from.
something that you can't answer because now you have to explain to
Bro.
me. You have to explain to me how does fasting, who's in the abstract world, in
By
the
the way,
world of the
can
unseen.
you provide the source? Can you provide the source for
Yeah,
this
it
quickly?
is just based
Like,
on the
look at the Arabic.
questions. It is just based on the questions
No,
of
I
Jam.
want the source.
It's just on a tournament in 1963, my friend. Please don't shoot the messenger. Yeah, this is all
Tirmidhi.
that I've read it. I've just read it. That's it.
19.
1963,
Tirmidhi,
At-Tirmidhi,
19 what?
Jami Al-Tirmidhi, the Hadith, 1963. This is in the book of At-Tirmidhi. Please, my guy,
Damn, this is embarrassing.
I'm just a messenger, my guy. Please don't shoot me. I have no miracles. I'm just a messenger. I'm just a plain warner.
Look. Please don't blaspheme. Look.
Blaspheme against who? Against Muhammad?
Wow, is Muhammad God?
Yeah, do we blaspheme against
Yeah,
Muhammad?
so
What?
yeah, blaspheme.
Blaspheme against
You do know to
Muhammad?
blaspheme
blaspheme.
someone, it means that person is God.
Yeah, tell me
Then-
when you're done. Tell me when you're done.
So Muhammad is God. We mustn't blaspheme against Muhammad?
Wait.
This is crazy. This is crazy. You shouldn't blaspheme against Muhammad.
Yeah, I told you they worship seven gods.
This is madness.
Crazy, man. But yeah,
You shouldn't blaspheme against Muhammad. What?
but like I was saying earlier, that word for rib, it's sela. It's actually side. It's not rib. It's translated from the Greek, which can come to rib for English. So it actually means side.
Yo, my bro,
Yeah.
vingers seer gemaak. They left.
Oh, yeah, he left. The guy was literally Muhammad God.
Don't blaspheme against Muhammad. What are you, cray? Who do you think Muhammad is? No, reality. If that was his argument, I would have proved to him Muhammad is God. House isn't the
He made
referring
the
to
argument for
hadith
you by saying that
we
he
may
made the
not
argument for you.
blaspheme. Isn't he referring to the hadith? Oh, okay, Stephen. It might be. I'm not sure. Can you maybe help me with that hadith so I can find it? Yo, my vingers seer man. Ik heb my vingers seer gemaak.
Wat het gebeur?
The small Caitlin. Toe kom jy. My bro. Kyk hier so, ek het aan vir jou geneem toe ra. How did you get there? Yeah? Oh, yeah, zero Ubesti. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Yeah, Stephen. So that might be the case. Fasting on the day of Yom Kippur. Fasting comes as a pale man, or fasting comes. I need to get that quickly. Ouch. You see reality? It's tough. I just heard it. Okay. All right. I think that's a good point, Stephen. We need to go and look for that thing. Because that is just going to strengthen the case of what I'm about to make. Yeah, I think we need to. I'll come up one day. Yeah, sure, buddy. No problem. Fasting comes on the day of judgment. Yeah, this is a tough one, reality. It's tough. This is a tough one. Because why? The moment when you find out, oops, this thing actually has ontology, and this is what its ontology is. You're gonna run. You're definitely gonna do it. Where's the on the day of Yom Kippur? We shouldn't blaspheme against Muhammad. Muhammad is gonna get you. Yeah, I always, but yeah, all I'm gonna give Muhammad is just a lamb's leg poison, and then he gonna die again in heaven. There we go. It's your favorite, brother. Enjoy. Or I'll get that Jewish woman that unalived him. Who is it? Well, how come I have it, but I don't have it at the same time? I do have it. I'm not a Muslim that makes up things. I have it. Okay, maybe I should go to Quranics and go to the Hadiths and then go to Tirmidhi. Yeah, Jamia Tirmidhi, and then I should look for 1963. 1963. It's like Muhammad. They never keep quiet. Tirmidhi it's a 1963. Let's see. Weh, ik vind dit bizar. Dat is kostbaar.
Well, I can't find any hadith.
Yeah, I'm gonna go fix it now. Yeah, it's cool. It's true. True that. True that, girl. True that.
I can't find any hadith. There is a mention from Al-Tabari of talking about people just talking bad about Muhammad, but not blaspheming him. That there's no hadith that exists about blaspheming Muhammad.
1963. Why do I have some Al? Al, you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
You Muslim? A Muslim.
I'm Muslim.
Nice.
Are you a Christian?
All the way, always, man.
Oh, okay.
Always.
Okay, good.
It's the only way to go, brother.
And then there is a Jahil up here whose reality. He's a white man. He's also a Christian.
I both know.
That's great. I have a question, if it's okay.
Can you deal with the prompt first?
It says how many gods are in Islam? One.
Yep.
Can you tell me if there's anything else? But I have a question about
there's
Christianity.
there's many more. Many.
There's many gods in Islam, according to you?
There's many.
At least 7.
Tell me, please.
All right. Let's start with it first, right?
Maybe I'm following the wrong religion then. Please.
That's right. Yes, you are. All right. Let's look at it. What is your understanding of Allah?
Tawheed.
Say again.
Tawheed. Do you know what Tawheed is? Tawheed?
That Tawheed? That one?
Astaghfirullah. Let's not make joke about this kind of.
I'm honest with you. Is it
Tawheed
that
means
Tawheed?
the oneness of Allah.
The oneness of Allah.
The oneness of Allah.
So you would agree that there is only one. There's no one else besides Allah, right?
What do you mean by no one? There's only worship Allah alone. He's the only one worthy of worship. There's no worshiping anybody else except for Allah.
So
Is that what you're asking?
There's no other God. There's only Allah that's there, right?
There's no other God. There's only Allah. I agree
Alright,
with you, 100%.
And if you have to explain the essence of Allah to me, how would you explain the essence of Allah?
I would tell you to read Surah Al-Ikhlas.
Yeah, that's Surah Ikhlas. But if you have to explain the essence of Allah, for example, if I explain my God,
I would say Surah Ikhlas, it gives you everything you need to know.
No, it doesn't. In fact, it doesn't.
Okay, according to you.
No, according to the Quran, it doesn't.
Okay, I would say read Surah Ikhlas. That's it. Yeah.
All right. So
That's a
Surah
good question.
Ikhlas.
If you want to continue, go ahead. Yeah.
It does not answer the question, but this is how I will answer. I will say that Allah is omnipresent.
Okay, can you explain when you mean essence? Can you elaborate on that, please?
Yeah, essence would be His nature.
Okay, again, Surah
What?
Al-Ikhlas.
Yeah. Okay. Surah
Or you
Al-Ikhlas.
can, Ayat al-Kursi, where it talks about he doesn't sleep, he does not get tired.
Mm-hmm.
This is, what do you? I don't understand what you're saying. Like his
Yeah,
essence.
so sleeping and tired, that is properties of the human nature. But when I speak about Allah, then
Yes.
I would say that He's omnipresent, He's omniscient, He's omnipotent. In other words,
We wouldn't say he's omnipresent. No,
you will not say that Allah is omnipresent. You won't
meaning
say.
like, are you mean omnipresent by saying he's everywhere?
Yeah,
No.
you won't say it.
Is Allah in your garage? He's in your backyard,
Yeah, Allah is in my backyard.
or does he oversee that?
Of course. Then nothing exists if it doesn't see it,
So,
right?
I think we agree, but I think we're making a difference on certain things, right? You're saying omnipresence.
Yep.
We're saying there's an overall presence, right?
Overall presence.
Not meaning Allah is,
Mhm.
because sorry, King, to cut you off. Sorry to cut you off, right? But some people, some religions would say that God, whatever they believe in God is in the tree. God is in me. God is it's in my bedroom. God is in the pillow. This is what omnipresence, it causes confusion. Islam goes away from that. Allah is aware of what you do, and Allah is present. He's aware of everything that you do. He knows everything. He sees everything.
So
But
that-
Allah is not inside you.
that
He's not
would-
inside the tree. He don't worship the moon and the stars. And no. So we make a distinction, right?
That would be His knowledge that you are referring to, correct? Allah's not everywhere, but
That's-
His knowledge is everywhere. You would refer to His knowledge.
knowledge. I think knowledge is different.
Yeah, but His knowledge can be everywhere, not necessarily mean that Allah is everywhere, right?
Okay. So when it says Allah sees and Allah hears, yes. What do you take by that?
Okay, so let's say for example, Allah is not everywhere, but His attribute of knowledge might be everywhere. That is how he comes to know about things, right? By His knowledge. Right?
Okay. Yeah. What are you saying? Yeah.
So now, if Allah's knowledge is everywhere, and Allah is not His knowledge, and Allah is separate from His knowledge, Allah is eternal, that means His knowledge should also be eternal, correct?
Sorry. Can you repeat that? So Allah's knowledge is absolute. You're saying?
Yeah, Allah is eternal.
Okay.
That means
Allah is eternal. Okay.
So that means His knowledge must also be eternal, right?
His knowledge is eternal. Absolute. Yes.
Okay, so if Allah is not where His knowledge is, then His knowledge can be separate from Allah, right?
Are you talking about Allah has to be in a specific, like a physical place? Now you're talking about like physical, like Allah has
No,
to be sitting beside me. Is that what you're saying?
no, not physical. That's we're still talking about the knowledge.
Okay. Okay. So that's my misunderstanding. That's why I'm just trying to elaborate. Go ahead.
Sure.
Sorry.
So that means that if Allah is eternal, His knowledge is eternal, but Allah is not in the kitchen or in my backyard. His knowledge is in the backyard, meaning that Allah can be separated from His knowledge, right?
How can Allah? Can you be separated from your knowledge?
My knowledge is definitely not me. Do you see? My knowledge is definitely not me. I am a person, and my knowledge would be an essential property of my personhood, but that does not make me a person,
It'd be an attribute. Yes.
right? It would be an essential property of my personhood, but that does not make me the person king. Do you see what I mean?
Okay.
now-
So in the beginning, we were talking about omnipresence, right?
Yeah. We're still there.
Yes. Yeah, we're talking about omnipresence. So some religions, like I said, right? They believe God is in this, etc. Y, X. They're in. Islam does not believe that, right? Allah is aware, Allah sees, Allah hears what you do, but it doesn't mean that Allah is in the tree, therefore, i.e., people start worshipping the tree. Or Allah is in some sort of statue and people start worshipping it. You understand? Islam is completely against all of these kind of things.
Yeah.
Allah doesn't have to physically be present somewhere for you to know of his existence and for you to know that he sees what you're doing, or you understand what I'm saying, right? So I think we're getting stuck on this omnipresence. I'm disagreeing with the omnipresence, right?
Okay. So now, but this is what, and I have to get the charger quickly. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You are agreeing with me, or I'm agreeing with you. Allah cannot be in the tree. His knowledge can be in the tree, but not Allah himself, right?
Allah created the tree. Of
Yes.
course, he was the tree. Yes.
Yeah, but he himself is not in the tree.
No.
Great. So if his knowledge is in the tree, but Allah himself is not in the tree, then that means his knowledge
sorry.
can be separated from him.
Sorry. What do you mean? His knowledge is in the tree. Allah created the tree.
Yes. Or let's say Allah is knowledgeable about the tree. He's not in the tree or
Okay.
with the tree,
There you
but
go.
he's
There you go.
knowledgeable
Yes, yes.
about the tree, right?
Yes. Yes.
So
yeah,
if-
he's not the tree. Yes.
Is not the tree. So if he is knowledgeable about the tree, but Allah cannot be
Yes.
where the tree is, then that means his knowledge is separate from Allah.
I don't think you're saying. I think you're reaching, brother. I think you're trying to clutch something. That's not there.
Okay. The reason why I say so is for the mere fact is that Allah himself cannot come into creation to be with creation. It's only his knowledge that is with creation. And because his knowledge is with creation, Allah have an
I
understanding of
understand.
creation.
That's
You-
a better explanation. I understand what you're saying. Yes,
Great.
I understand what you're saying.
So he doesn't
We would
come-
say in Islam, it's
Uh-huh.
not about. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry about that.
So meaning is that he is not where his creation is, he's separate from his creation, but he's knowledgeable of his creation because of his knowledge. Now my question is, if he does not come into creation, but he's knowledgeable about creation, then that means his knowledge is separate from where he is.
I understand what you're saying.
Okay? So his knowledge therefore is uncreated because God himself is uncreated, right?
God is uncreated, of course. Yes, His knowledge is uncreated as well.
And his knowledge is uncreated because God is uncreated, therefore his knowledge is uncreated.
Okay. What's the point you're trying to make?
Yeah. So now, if his knowledge is uncreated and Allah is uncreated, but his knowledge can be separate from him, therefore you have two beings that is uncreated.
So knowledge, like I said earlier, is an attribute.
Mm-hmm.
This is not separate from Allah.
Okay. It's not separate from Allah.
Do you disagree with that, or?
Yeah, I do. It's not separate from Allah.
Okay. No, it's not.
Okay. So if it's not, remember early on when we had the conversation when I said, when you asked, are you your knowledge? And I said, no, I'm not my knowledge. My knowledge is separate from me. My knowledge doesn't make who I am.
I didn't agree with you. You said you're right. You said that. Yeah, you said that your knowledge and you are separate.
Yeah, I'm separate.
I would say that. I think I would say that as a person, not God, right? As a person,
Yeah.
that I would say my knowledge, my experiences, everything that I went to, how I was raised,
Yeah.
all of these kind of make up the person that I am. Not in a physical sense, of course.
Not in
right?
a physical
Not
sense.
in a physical sense,
Yeah.
but like. Not in a physical sense, of course, but what I've learned throughout the years of my existence, my growing up, the things that I've experienced, all of these kind of things, I think have something to do with the person that I am right now today. If we add up all the years, you know what I mean. I think all those things have an effect on me, right?
Yep.
But
That's
those
right.
things are not separate. Like you get what I'm saying, right? Like
It
they,
is.
they are me. That's what makes up me as an
Okay.
individual. You get what I'm saying?
Sure. Let me
So
can-
yeah, I think the analogy. I get what you were saying though. To be fair, earlier, but I think that analogy, yeah, that's why I didn't agree with you when you said my knowledge is separate from me. I was like, I don't really know about. I was kind of a little bit shaky on that, but you continue to talk. But yeah, go ahead, brother.
can you do me Creality? Do you have you have mod power, right?
Sorry.
I'm talking to Creality, the guy upstairs. It's
Yes,
Creality.
yes. Sorry, what's up?
You have mod power, right?
I think I do. Let me check.
Just check. On
No.
you don't
no.
have? Okay, wait. Just give me a second.
No.
How long will you be here, Creality?
As long as you need me, man. I'm washing dishes and stuff, so.
Okay, sure. I want to give you mod power quickly because I need to go and pick up someone and then rush back.
What happened, King? You leaving?
Yeah, I need to go and fetch. I need to go and fetch my daughter's friend quickly, man.
Okay, no problem there.
Yeah, sure. I'm so sorry. I would like to spend some more time with you, and in conversation. It is this far. It is nice. Okay, so here we go. But I just need to rush quickly to pick them up, and then I'll be back. It's about 25 minutes.
No problem.
No worries. Drive safe, man. So, Al, were you born a Muslim?
Yes, I was.
Okay, awesome. Do you have
What's your screen name? Sorry.
Creality Jesus Saves?
Oh, Creality. Okay. You're Christian, I guess.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
obviously. Are you from Australia?
No, South Africa. Just like King.
Oh, South Africa. Oh,
Yeah.
just like Nice. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I had a question about Christianity, if you don't mind me asking. Or were you trying to ask a question first?
No, you can ask. I'll try my best to answer.
Oh, okay. I had a question about when Jesus went to the Garden of Gethsemane, and it says, I forgot the exact passage. I don't know if it was John or Mark. I forgot the exact one. I can Google it. But I think you might know what I'm referring to at the very least. Where he goes up to the Garden of Gethsemane and he prays.
The Father.
And he says
Not my
he
will.
prays to the Father, and he says take this cup away from me. I guess referring to the crucifixion. So my question is, and I've asked this to other Christians, is if assuming that the person that I'm talking to believes that Jesus is God, who was again what you believe is God praying to?
Yeah, the thing is, you have to have an understanding that because Jesus was in the flesh, he was tempted just like all flesh is tempted. And at the end of the day, he was actually quoting a psalm because he was saying, not my will, but your will, Father. So he was just showing that he's submitting under the authority of the Father.
Yeah, I think that's a problem, I think, for a lot of people, because when we think of God, it's not someone who submits to something else, right? So I think for a lot of people, not just myself, it's a huge problem. That how can I worship? First of all, I think there's a lot of issues with worshiping a human being, but also one who prayed to someone. I think the question is, who's he praying to, and why is he praying to that individual? Maybe we should be interested in who he was praying to, and not actually worship the individual who's praying to what seems like a higher power.
Okay, yeah, because with the Christian theology, it's based on Jesus becoming, God becoming a man. So because we have the three distinct persons as God, and Yahweh is the God of all flesh. Jesus is flesh. So therefore, he has to pray to the Father as as the flesh being subordinate under him. Just like because we are flesh, we are subjective under God. Jesus in the flesh is subjective under God. So that's why he prays to God, and he says in John 14, and your Father. It's exactly that.
Yeah. So, not to be this, but it's like, well, God prayed to God. Like again, it's kind of hard to wrap your head around.
No, I don't know. For me, it's very easy because it's just understanding that God became
I would like it to
a
be
man.
as easy as it is for you to me. How could you explain that? Because I can't get over that.
Okay, well, then we can start right from the beginning. Let's go to the beginning with Adam and Eve, okay? So when Adam and Eve had the choice to disobey God, there's consequences for sin. You understand what the consequences for sin is?
According to Christianity or according to Islam?
Yeah, according to the scriptures, yes.
Okay. What can you explain to me? What is it in Christianity? The wages of sin are death. Is that what it says in the
Yeah.
Bible?
Yes. So because the
Well,
wages,
Islam, it doesn't. It depends on the sin, so it wouldn't necessarily mean death. But yeah, go ahead.
yeah, we're talking about the Christian paradigm, yeah. So because Adam and Eve sinned and they disobeyed God, they caused a separation between them and God because of this grave sin. It had brought curse upon everyone on creation. So that means death came into the world. Now, God, knowing He's all powerful and knowing, He knew that this would happen, and
Yes.
so He already had an intention plan to pay for the sins of the people. And that's why in Genesis 3:15 we have already prophesied Jesus about bruising the heel of the wound, because he would come and he would pay for the remissions of our sins. So because of disobedience and the payment of sin, God had to take it upon Himself to come and pay for that sin. And that's why Jesus had to enter the world as a man to be able to pay for that curse. So He took the curse upon Himself. You understand?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know what? Look, here's the thing. I don't know how to say this without maybe. I don't want to cause offense to you, right? Because there has been religions prior to Christianity where, a deity that was worshipped also entered, the human realm, and that individual or that deity had some sort of relations, and they had a son, and now that son is some sort of like half man, half god type of individual, right? Is that the same as those pagan religions of old? Is that what you're talking about?
No. It's not the same. If you're looking at, for instance, Zoroastrianism and things like that, or Greek mythology, it has differences in their belief systems. Christianity is the only one that believes God came down as God, that became a man to be able to pay for the remission of sins. Everyone else, as those other belief systems, is demigods. So they believe them to be kind of a demigod thing, and they came for worship. So people had to do things to get in the grace of that demigod. So it's a total different type of, but it has been around.
It seems
in,
very like
paganism, yeah.
it seems to a layperson. Let's assume that you never heard of it, but you heard about this, and then you also heard about these other ones of old. You would say, oh, there seems to be kind of a similar narrative here, right? Where it's kind of like you have God, and then He's somehow coming down and mixing with your creation, and then therefore there's like a being which is like God, but He's like the Son of God, but He's not God. But there's like, you get what I'm saying, right? It's very like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I understand what you're saying, but I mean, we can take this as about the same way with Islam, because I mean, one of the main things that catches me on Islam that I don't get is Islam stemmed from the Qurayshis, and the Qurayshis were paganistic in their belief. They were the ones who built the Kaaba, and
The Quraysh, yes.
yeah. So they were the ones that built the Kaaba, and they worshipped Allah, whose name was Habli, which is Baal. And this deity
They
had
worshipped
three
who?
daughters. Habli. I'm trying to.
So
Hubal,
the
sorry, Hubal.
Quraysh,
Hubal,
sorry to
that's
cut
the
you off,
word.
but the Quraysh, I think they had like
300.
300 different, like deities that they worshipped.
But their main
Yeah.
deity was Allah, which is Hubal, which is Baal, but he has three daughters.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that. Yeah.
All right. So what's the you're bringing this up because you're saying that Islam stems from these
From
pagan
paganism.
religions?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, even Christians or non-Muslim, anyone who non-Muslims would say that's absolutely not true. obviously that they did have a pagan religion. They were pagans. They believed in 300 different types of deities. Um, None of them coincide with anything Islam says today. Islam says worship God and worship God alone. Don't worship statues. Don't worship human beings, right? Don't worship the creation, whether it's the sun, the stars, a man who was created, i.e., which the Quraysh pagans absolutely did the opposite of that. They worshipped figures that they made themselves, and they prayed to those things. And they had 300 different deities, and they worshipped those things.
But that's the thing. You do know Muhammad came from the Qurayshi tribe, so he was brought
Of
up
course.
in this pagan belief system.
Yeah, and
And
there's
he
no
taught.
recorded history that he worshipped any of those things.
He
But you're
did.
right.
So
He
the
was from the
satanic
Quraysh tribe.
verses.
Absolutely. That was the main tribe of the city of Mecca. This is
Mhm.
basic history, of course. Yeah.
But do you know about the satanic verses?
The satanic verses. These are things that can't be factualized or anything like that. This is not true. This has been disputed and tossed to the side as people like Salman Rushdie you're quoting right now. The satanic verses.
But the
But that's a good try,
companions,
though. Go ahead, though. Yeah.
no, even Sabakari, he says, and he taught us to kiss better stones. And it was, we kiss stones, and Muhammad taught us to kiss a better stone. You see, this is based from the satanic verses. That's why we have Alat, Manat, and Alat from considered as
Yeah, Allah.
the
This is what they worship
but you have
prior
hadith,
to Islam.
but that's what I'm saying. You have hadith that reference it to say it was so, and it was changed. That's why it's called the satanic verses, because Muhammad had revelation after a time period that it was Satan that was lying to him. That's why
Yeah,
it's called the
listen,
satanic verses.
these are like these kind of like Google arguments against Islam. Of course, if you read the Quran from cover to cover, there's no, the satanic verses have no relevance. And the Prophet Muhammad, this is what the people of Quraysh, when he came with the message, said that he's demon possessed, or he's a sorcerer, or he's a crazy person. He has issues mentally. These are all of the accusations that they've said against him, and you're saying the same thing. This is what the disbelievers said about him. They said he's crazy, he's demon possessed, a demon told him to say these things. All of these things can be disproven easily.
The reason,
Because here's the thing. Let me answer you this, brother. If Satan is the one who told him what to say, the Quran, if you read it, it tells you, don't go with Satan. Don't follow Satan. Satan is your enemy. He will lead you astray, right? Don't do all of these bad things, right? Which Satan will lead you towards. So if I'm Satan, or I'm telling somebody, I want him to listen to me and to promote what I'm saying. But how am I going to tell somebody something and he promotes everything that I'm against?
But that's what I'm trying to tell you. The reason you can't find in your Quran today is because Muhammad abrogated it. Because he abrogated it, and he only abrogated the 20th, 19th, and 20th verse. He kept 17 and 18 in, where it's saying to consider the three daughters of Hubal. You understand? And because we have hadith, which is strong narrative telling us that about these satanic verses, just saying Na'ah is not actually saying it didn't exist.
So, are you saying that this is in the Quran, or?
Yes, got this in the Quran still.
Yeah. Can you give me the verse where it tells you to
let me quickly get it for you.
Worship? Are you saying worship the three daughters? I don't even know what you're talking about, to be honest. But if you can just pull up that verse, yeah,
I'll get it for you. Give me 2 seconds. I'll just quickly help my daughter. 2 seconds. Then.
No worries. Take your time. Yeah.
Do you have a Quran in front of you?
No, I don't. But I have another phone. If you can just give me the verse, I'll look it up as well.
Okay, Surah An-Najm 53:19 to 21. Just quickly get this for my daughter. wonder if I can get it on my phone. Oh, no, it's difficult.
Okay.
There we go. Did that work? Well, it's
No,
difficult
sorry.
to.
I was just waiting for you to come back. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I was trying to get it up as a background.
Oh,
So you
okay.
can't see
Yeah.
it for the.
I got it up. I got it up here. So Surud, and it says, now have you considered the idols of Lat and Uzza?
Yeah, the three daughters. That's the concept. This is what they would call from the satanic verses.
So it says that these verses, the third deity, these verses form a rebuke against pre-Islamic polytheistic practices, questioning worship of these idols as false deities and the daughters of God. So this verse is rebuking what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's changed. Remember, the rebuking is coming from 20 and 21. Sorry, from 21. What it used to be able to, what it was saying from 19 to 21 was saying, have you considered them? And then how they took it as the cranes, as the daughters of Allah. So it was actually based that way. And then the hadith, I just had to find the hadith again.
Yeah, sorry. I don't understand what you're saying. Are you saying that the Quran is telling you to worship these idols? I don't understand.
No, I'm telling you, it used to be in. Muhammad actually taught the people
He
to
used to.
worship the
You're saying that
creations.
Muhammad taught to worship these idols?
Yes, he actually taught them to
Okay.
kiss the
Yeah, because
stones.
I didn't know what you're saying. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah,
why
that's
when
completely false. You don't have any way to even like that's
there's
100% false.
hadith that collaborate.
Well, yeah. All right, I'm here. You can bring up the hadith where it says that the Prophet Muhammad told you to worship idols.
Okay, I'll get it for you.
Yeah, I'm here.
Just gonna give me some time. I have to get on my phone because it's actually on my computer. I'm not there about now.
No, it's all good. It's all good, brother.
Oh man, it's difficult to read it like this. It sucks because I so badly want to read, but I can't read it, so I have to put like a background and you can't read it all. Ah.
Well, just I guess just read the point you're trying to make. I'm guessing you're saying that that the Prophet Muhammad endorsed worshiping idols. Is that what you're saying? I don't know. I don't want to put words in your mouth. Yeah.
Yeah. So how they
So he was telling people to worship like idols, right?
Yes, what happened is the Qurayshis. He was trying to find a way to consolidate relations with the Qurayshis because they didn't like him with what he was, presenting. Okay, so then he was presenting as in, well, have you considered Hubal with his 3 daughters? So Allah with his 3 daughters and things. That's where the satanic verses came from. So because he considered this, and they were kissing and prostrating towards these 3 daughters of Allah at the Kaaba, they started saying, oh, he is one of us, and started saying that's why some people became Muslim because of that. But I mean, this is well-documented history. You can find this in quite a well-known history books.
Brother, it took you a long time just to even get this hadith. You won't find this in any history books,
It's on my phone. Like I said, it's on
the
my
Prophet
computer.
Muhammad.
I'm not by my
Sorry.
computer. That's why I had to get it on my phone.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Here's the thing. I think this is something that some people, who are not Muslims, try to use as some sort of argument against Islam. That well, hold on a sec. What about the satanic verses? The Prophet Muhammad, he talked about this, and he talked about no. It says consider them. Considering them does not mean them. He's talking to them and say, consider them. Why do you guys? I can say the same thing. I said, why do you guys worship, 3 daughters? Why do you guys worship all of these deities which aren't real? These are false. Worship God and worship God alone. That's the only message that he had. That's the one that he spread throughout the world that people till today still believe in. No Muslim today will say that, oh yeah, worship God, but also there's these 3 daughters that you also have to worship, right? So you're only saying that. And people who are against Islam are the only people that bring up these arguments. Your argument would actually have a leg to stand on if you can find Muslims who actually believe what you're saying and say, oh yeah, we worship Allah, but we also worship the 3 daughters because there's a historical reference to that. But no Muslim believes that. You will never find. You can go around the globe 3 times and you'll never find that.
There's a reason you
why
don't
should
believe
someone
it.
believe someone who's bringing an argument against Islam and says, well, hold on, even though you're a Muslim, let me tell you what Muslims believe. They believe in this. And it's like, well, I've never met a Muslim who ever believed in that.
Yeah, and you wouldn't find anyone because, like I said, it was abrogated. It was removed.
It was removed, right?
Yeah, that's an
a very
abrogation.
convenient argument as well, right?
Wait, I'm being very respectful with you, man.
Oh, sorry about that. I'm just
all I'm
having
saying
a discussion,
is,
that's why. Sorry about that.
No stress. But all I'm saying is because it's been abrogated, it's removed. And like I said, there is many well-documented history documents showing that it has been abrogated. That's my whole point. So obviously not going to have Muslims today believing this because it's been abrogated. So yes, Muslims today are taught differently to what Muhammad was teaching at that time. But that was because Muhammad at that time abrogated it once he realized it was from Satan.
Okay, I understand.
You understand?
But
I mean,
if I can just respond to that last one, so we don't get off topic, right? Can I respond because I don't want to cut you off if you have more to say. So basically, what you're saying is that it was changed. Again. So when it comes to Islam, right? Islam is 1,400 years old, right? It's not 3,000, 5,000 years old, where you can kind of say, certain things were lost, and it's hard to say what was what and what was recorded. Islam is very well documented, not only by Muslims, but even non-Muslims, right? And that's a fact. You can actually look that up. So when it comes to these satanic verses, they don't have a leg to stand on. And of course, I don't expect you to believe me. Obviously, I'm a Muslim. You're going to say, well, you're biased, and obviously you don't want to believe that, which is fair. I can understand your point of view. I can understand you assuming that, which is clear. But here's the thing. That's not the case, right? The Prophet Muhammad, even till today, this is what the hadiths are. I know you are familiar with the hadiths. It's the sayings and the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad when he was alive. The Quran was written while he was alive, right? So this isn't like, unfortunately, and again, I don't say this to kind of get a dig in, but Christianity, when it comes to at least even the New Testament, which is as early as we're talking 70, 80 years after the time of Jesus, right, with multiple different authors where we can't really verify who's who and who said what and what's going on, where there is a lot of anonymity there when it comes to who said what. The Quran actually has dated Quran manuscripts going back to the Prophet ﷺ when he was alive. You can go to the in Birmingham today. It's in their museum, right? And this is a non-Muslim country. So when you're bringing up these things, with respect to you, brother, and again, I don't say this to be disrespectful or anything like that. This is why I'm kind of pushing back a little bit against you, is because it seems like you're kind of just you're reaching, even though this isn't really an argument against Islam, right? No one believes that in the satanic verses. This was made popular by an author, Salman Rushdie, who was a massive anti-Islam hater. He hated Islam. He hated Muslims. This was documented. He was banned from countries to even come. His book was banned from non-Muslim countries like South Africa and other countries, and because of how he talked about Islam, not only Islam, how he talked about Christianity in his book, right? And he mentioned the satanic verses, and this is what made it popular by a well-known individual who hated Islam and hated Muslims. And you're regurgitating those individuals' talking points and trying to use that as an argument against Muslims. With respect, brother. But yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, no, I disagree with you 100% because history shows it to be there. Just because it's removed from the Quran doesn't mean that the history is not there. Like I said, there's many sources showing this. Even many Islamic scholars actually talk about this, as we're saying. But what you did say was very interesting. You made a claim that the Quran in the time of Muhammad being there, that is false. Show me who the author of the Quran.
Quran is oral. It was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad, and he verbalized it, and those individuals wrote it down.
Who wrote it down? Who's the author of the Quran?
The people who are around him, we call it the Sahabas, the companions of the Prophet, the people who are there with him. Some of them wrote it down.
That's why I said there is nobody knows who wrote the Quran. That's a fact. The Quran has no dating authorship at all. But we do know who wrote the Gospels. There's a big difference.
We don't know who wrote there's at least 40 different anonymous authors. We don't even know who Mark, Matthew, Luke, and John were.
We do. We know exactly.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do. Matthew was a disciple from Jesus. Luke was a close companion of the disciples. John was the closest disciple of Jesus. So we even have them referencing themselves in their own Gospels.
So Mark, so even
Mark
the Gospels, it's according to those.
Matthew was a disciple from Jesus.
Mark is a close companion,
Luke
according to you.
None of them
were around.
Mark was a close companion of Peter.
Yeah, so none of them were companions of Jesus, right?
Yes,
none of them were disciples. Sorry.
Yes, Matthew was. Matthew and John were in their own Gospels.
Matthew wasn't, according to Christian scholarship.
Matthew was Matthew was a tax collector. He was one of the disciples of Jesus. He even references this by talking about himself in third person in Matthew.
So yeah, that's, again, you can look at Christian scholarship, and I think they
Bart
disagree with
Ehrman
you.
even tells you this. Even Bart Ehrman can tell you this. But I see King's back. Hello, King. How's it going, brother? But yeah, the point I'm making is we know who wrote the Gospels. We don't know who wrote the Quran. The Quran doesn't have any.
No, we don't know
who.
who. There's sorry, brother. Can I ask you? Do you not agree? There's at least 40 anonymous writers to the Gospels, and we don't even know if Matthew authored Matthew. We don't know if Mark authored Mark. We don't know if.
But
Luke
that's what I'm saying. That's false,
Luke.
Al.
We don't know if John authored John.
We do. Right? We literally have the manuscripts
no,
for this, and we have outside sources to show this is true. We even have the datings. We even have the datings.
It's the Gospels according to Mark.
We even have
the
wait, dude. We even have the datings of these. Yeah. We even have the datings of these Gospels. Okay, but when it comes to the Quran, there is no set time or author of the Quran. The only time we can really say what happened is there were so many manuscripts that Uthman had to burn them all to try have the Uthmanic manuscript. And even today, you have over 40 different Qurans because of this.
Yeah. Again, brother, look, it's sad, honestly, to be honest. And I say this with respect. It's like, there's really no...
Good to see your
sorry about that. I thought there was someone speaking.
No stress, brother. It's just
Yeah, no, it threw me off. I thought someone was talking. But brother, look, these are like the most basic talking points. You know what I mean? Like, you can't say anything theologically. All you can say is the sources. Even though I told you the sources, the Quran was written in the time of the Prophet.
Sorry, out of respect, you haven't given me anything. You haven't given me any source.
Go ahead.
Sorry, out of any respect, you haven't given me any source.
So I did give you sources. I said
wrote the Quran?
Even
Who
in
wrote the
non-Muslim
Quran?
countries, right? And I told you, I said the Quran is a divine revelation given to the Prophet Muhammad, which was written down by the people around him. And those
Who's the
manuscripts
author?
from his time are still around today. Which you
Who are
cannot
the
say the
author?
same thing.
Who's the author?
You have
That's what I'm asking.
manuscripts
I don't know where
that
the
are
place is.
hundreds of years later
No, you
after Jesus'
No,
time,
no.
right? And you have
Mark is dated to
contradiction
60 AD.
manuscripts, like
Mark is-
the one who cast the first stone. You have the adulterous woman, which is in some manuscripts and it's not in others, clearly indicating that some people added
no,
things to certain manuscripts.
I can show you the manuscripts. P66. You know the manuscript P66?
No, I don't. If you can explain.
Okay. Well, that's a manuscript you can go look up that shows authenticity. Okay. So
can I ask you this
can
before you
you
go on,
show me
brother?
one
What's the
authentic-
closest manuscript to Jesus' time, please?
60 AD, Mark.
So that's like what, like 70, 80 years after Jesus?
No, it's not. It's 30 years. Well, 60
Sorry?
years. About 60 years after Jesus. In the same
So like
timeline.
70, well, I think
So
scholarship
it was
says about
the
70,
disciples-
80 years
the
after
disciples were
Jesus was
still-
last seen,
The
right?
disciples were still around when it was written.
Yeah.
The
okay.
companions
So,
of
again,
Jesus were still around when it was written. Now, the difference with you is, do you know that the Quran was not written down at least 200 years after Muhammad?
That's false.
No, it's historical fact. You can't even tell me who wrote the Quran. You know why no one can say who wrote the Quran? Because no one knows.
Of course, that's what you like to believe because you're a Christian
I
and
mean,
you don't want this
show
to
me
be
then.
the
That's
case.
what I'm asking. Asking for to show me where someone wrote the Quran. Who wrote the Quran?
The Quran was written down, and you have manuscripts that date back to the Prophet Muhammad that are still alive today. You don't have the same.
Who wrote those
You don't have
manuscripts?
Show me one manuscript that was around when Jesus was around.
P66, the Didache,
P66
Matthew, Mark,
you even
Luke,
admitted
John.
that P66 is almost a century later.
No, again, all these ones are around at the same time that the disciples were around. The
Just admitted
companions
it's
of
about
Jesus.
60 to 70
the
years
same-
later.
Again, okay, they knew Jesus personally. This is well documented fact that they wrote, the companions that knew Jesus personally. Nobody in history for Islam can show who wrote the Quran and that it was even close to his timeline when it was written. Okay, you had some written manuscripts like Aisha having the goat eating a part of a manuscript, which was just around everywhere, but no one knows who wrote any of those manuscripts. Even Aisha says there's verses in the Quran missing when she was alive after Muhammad had passed away.
Okay, so again, I'm going to say this, right? There
So
are
just show us.
manuscripts that you can go and look at that are carbon dated to the time of the Prophet, right? This is today's science that are carbon dating these manuscripts and saying, yes, these were there when the Prophet Muhammad was alive. They were around when he was alive. I'm saying you don't have the same thing.
I do. We
And
know
you-
who wrote the
And you're saying you
manuscripts.
do. No,
We
you
know
have
who wrote the
minimum
manuscripts.
70
You
to
don't-
80 years after. And
How?
that's some
How?
manuscript.
How?
The
We
rest of
know
them
who
come
wrote
hundreds
those-
of years later.
We
The rest
know
of them
who
come
wrote
hundreds
those-
of years later.
Dude, you gotta listen. We know who wrote those manuscripts. You don't know who wrote those manuscripts.
You don't even know
You're
who
claiming.
Mark was. You don't even know
We
who
do.
Luke was. You don't even know some of these
We do. I told you who they are.
What was
Yeah.
What was Mark's last name? What was his family? Where did he
That's
grow
not
up?
how.
okay.
That's not how it worked in those days.
Okay.
There weren't really last names in those days.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Wait,
I'm
wait,
serious.
wait, hold
Where
on.
from
Al.
Those
the
people,
Jesus of
those
Nazareth.
people documented
What was-
their genealogy better than us
what-
today.
Al, let me explain it to you. Okay, how it worked is, for instance, Jesus was the son of Joseph. That's how it said, or Jesus of Nazareth. He didn't have a surname. There were no such things as surname. For instance, you had the son of Aramaeus. So there was a name considered to be of the father. That's how it worked. There was no surname of the day. Okay? Do
I
you
agree with
understand?
you.
What
I
is
would
what
say,
is Muhammad's surname? I can say the same. What is Muhammad's surname?
Muhammad ibn Abdullah.
No,
So
That's not his-
Muhammad,
That's not
the
his
son of
surname.
that's
Abdullah.
not his. That's not his
That's not
surname.
his surname.
Yeah, okay. Hold on a sec, guys. Just relax. I'm telling you, his name is Muhammad. Ibn means son of. Abdullah is the name of his father. And you can
Not a
continue
surname, then.
on and on and on.
Not a surname.
So it's not a surname. That's my whole point. That's my
No,
whole
no.
point.
Here's the thing. No. Okay, here's the thing. I said, okay, I asked you, what's Mark's last name? But again, yeah, you're right. We have the last name. Our last name is in reference to who we came from, right? Your last name is in reference to your father or your grandfather or your great grandfather. It's the same thing. So whether I say last name or surname or your genealogy or your lineage, it's the same thing. You asked me what's his name. I told you. I said his name is Muhammad. His
Well,
father's name is Abdullah. You
you
can
know,
go.
Muhammad
What's his
wasn't his
father's
actual
name?
name,
His
though.
grandfather. You can go and you
Okay.
can go all the way.
Okay, so there's
you cannot,
so
you can go all the way to Ishmael. Where
okay.
he's related
No,
to.
it
So
it can't go
I'm
to
asking
Ishmael.
you, who's? Can you tell me who's Mark's father? Can you tell me who's Luke's father? Can you tell me who
Al,
you
Yes,
don't even
we
have
can
that.
actually.
And
Al.
you're asking me. You
Al.
asked me one question and I answered you right away. And you're saying, well, hold on a second. I
Al,
told you,
let
Muhammad
me-
ibn Abdullah. Muhammad, the son of Abdullah.
Al,
Relax, brother.
I can
Al.
you want to know his mother's name? His mother's name was Amina. What else you want to ask?
Al,
Who's Mark's mother's name?
Al,
Where did he grow up? What
Al,
was
brother,
his
calm
childhood
down.
like?
Calm down. You're excited for nothing.
All right, sorry. I got
Okay.
excited. I got excited.
No.
It's
It is okay. It's okay.
I was cooking, brother. I was cooking.
Yeah, but let
I
me
was
throw
cooking
some.
jollof rice.
Yeah, let me throw some cold water onto this. If you ask who has written the
okay.
Gospels, if you've asked who has written the Gospels, I then have to ask you this particular question, and I can do the exact same within Islam. Is that Muhammad said you must take the Gospel from four. Where is the Gospels of these four people that Muhammad have said you must take the Quran from? Sorry.
Sorry, can you repeat that? You said that Muhammad said
Muhammad
have to
said
take
you
the
must take the
Gospels
sorry,
from
you must
four?
take the Quran from four people, particularly. You must take the Quran from them, these four people. Where are
Okay.
the Qurans of these four specific people that Muhammad said you must take from?
You're gonna have to elaborate, brother. I don't know what you're talking
Okay,
about.
so yes, it's in Bukhari 38:10, narrated by Qatada. Anas said the Quran was collected in the lifetime of the Prophet by four men, all of whom were from the Ansar: Ubay Ma'uth bin Jabal, Zayd, and Zayd bin Thabit. I asked Anas, who is Abu Zayd? He said, one of my uncles. Now what's this? In At-Tirmidhi 38:10, narrated by Abdullah bin Amr, that the Messenger of Allah said, take the Quran from four, from Ibn Masud, Ubay bin Ka'b, Ma'uth bin Jabal, and Salim, the freed slave of Abu Haifa. Now I want to know, if these are the four people, do you know who these four people is?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so who is Salim, the freed slave?
Those are individuals that lived at that time, and you could even do your research and find out who those people were, where they were born, what their name was, who their parents were.
No, remember the question that you asked reality. Who is Mark? What is their name? Where do they come from? What is their surname, etc.
Exactly.
So now
Yes.
I'm doing
Yeah,
the
yeah.
exact same. I'm doing the
I
exact
asked you,
same to
you
you.
that question.
No, you can't ask
Do
me.
you have an answer to that question?
No, you can't ask me because then
Well,
I'm
I asked it.
then
I
I'm
asked that
answering you. Then I'm answering
Yeah.
you, right? So now, in reality, already said that in that specific time period, that is not how things was operating. But now, if that is the standard, I'm keeping you to the Islamic standard. If Muhammad said these are the four people that you should take Quran from, who is Salim?
Yeah, you should learn Quran from, yes?
No, take from. Who is Salim? Where does Salim come
take
from?
from, learn from, yeah.
What is Salim's genealogy? What is Salim's surname? Why was Salim a slave? And why was Salim a freed slave? Where did he come from? From which
Yes.
part of the continent did he come from?
Yeah,
that you
exactly. You're
must take
asking
return?
who were these individuals? In other words, you're asking who were these individuals?
Yep.
Yes?
Yep.
Exactly.
I'm asking.
So those individuals, right? Those are the companions of the Prophet. Okay?
Okay.
And I'm gonna be look, okay? You
How do we
could
know that?
look up those. Those are not hard to look up those individuals and actually know who they were and what time they lived and everything like that. You cannot say the same about Mark, Matthew, Luke, and John. These
Yes,
are
we can.
anonymous.
No,
We can.
guys, hold on.
And
I don't want
sorry,
you to
sorry,
deviate.
King, sorry, if I can just finish. I'm not going to take long. Just one thing. And
Yeah, finish.
also,
It's
there's
fine.
at least 40, according to Christian scholars, 40 anonymous writers to the Gospels, right?
Yep.
So every time I bring this up, you guys come back with a Quran question, but you refuse to acknowledge what even Christians say, that yes, there is a lot of individuals who claim to be inspired by God and wrote passages of the Bible. Paul is basically the whole New Testament is Paul.
Oh,
right?
Paul. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and we know who Paul was. We know who he was, where he came from.
Yep.
And that's a lot of the New Testament came from Paul. But
right.
you don't know who Matthew
Okay.
is. You don't know who Luke is. You don't even know who his parents are.
Okay.
If I could take a
Oh,
book
okay.
and say that this is a divine revelation
Al,
and I don't even
Al,
know the
Al,
individual.
Before, there's too many points that you
Yeah,
touch
go ahead.
on. We're going to touch it step by step, right?
Okay, sorry about
We're going
that.
to touch on this step by step. Now, if Muhammad prophesied and said, these are the 4 people that you must take the Quran from, I just want to know, what are you doing with the Quran of Uthman ibn Affan? If Muhammad said you must take it from Ibn Masud, Ubayd bin Ka'b, Ma'ud bin Jabal, and Salim the freed slave, where are their Qurans today?
Yes. Okay, so the Quran, you're saying as if people have different Qurans. The Quran is a verbal recitation from the Prophet. And when the Prophet is saying, take from these guys, he's saying, learn from them because they know the Quran very well.
Nope, that's not what he
I
said.
mean, shake your head. Of course.
Nope.
Of course, you're going to disagree because it doesn't fit your narrative, right?
No, it does. It fits your narrative.
King,
It's supposed to
if-
fit your narrative.
If someone said, King, sorry, King, let me ask you this. If I didn't know about Christianity and a friend told me, he said, hey, King is a guy, he's from South Africa, and let's say I lived in the same town as you, he knows a lot about Christianity. Take from him. Is that a false statement? Does that mean I'm taking? No? That means, take from him, learn from him because he knows a lot about Christianity, right? Take from him. So the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is to the people, like, he's talking in the sense of when he's gone, he's like, look, if these people are still alive, take from them because they're very learned. Take from them from the Quran, right?
Was
So now
Ubay-
you're taking the word take.
Was Ibn Masud alive in the time of Uthman ibn Affan?
Sorry, Ibn Asud?
Yeah, Ibn Masud. Was Ibn Masud alive in
Masud?
the time of
I'm not
Uthman?
sure, to be honest.
Now, let me tell you something.
I have to be honest with you. I'm not sure. I don't want to say yes, and maybe he died after, or maybe he died.
No.
I don't know. to be
He
honest.
was very much alive in the time of Uthman ibn Affan. Ibn Masud had his own Quran as well. So by the time when Uthman requested the Quran of Ibn Masud did not want to give him the Quran. And then what did Uthman's minions or soldiers do to Uthman to Ibn Masud? Do you know what they did to him?
You're talking about they burned?
No, I'm not talking about the burning. I'm talking about the actual person, Ibn Masud. Do you know what they did to Ibn Masud?
Okay.
Do you know?
Okay, hold on. I don't. Let me look it up. Because I think you might be taking something out of context. Hold on.
Out of context. Okay.
You're talking about Ibn Masud. Hold on, give me one second.
I just want to say, Al, I do like you, man. And we had quite a good discussion, actually, while you were gone, brother.
That's good.
Yeah, we
that's
did, yeah,
that's what we want. That's what we want. No fighting, just amicable conversation. That's good.
So Ibn Masud, it's okay. I'll be honest with you. I googled it. Okay, Ibn Masud, according to it's he was a close companion of the Prophet.
That's right. He was Ibn Masud.
Yeah.
Now let me tell you something. A little bit of a
And
history
he-
of Ibn
yeah,
Masud.
he was-
Okay, maar dat is fijn. Deze eraan. Nooit die. Zo hoor eraan. Nooit die. Nooit die. Kijk eraan. Okay, sorry man, that was just my wife. Now let's see. Ibn Masud. Ibn Masud was a Hafiz and a Qur'an. So which meaning that Ibn Masud could recite the Quran and interpret the Quran hands down.
Memorized, yes.
He could recite it and memorize it. 70 of those surahs hands down. Now note that I said that Muhammad said that you must take the Quran from Ibn Masud, right? Just watch what happened. Just watch what happened to Ibn Masud. Ibn Khaldun has the history contended of the Caliph Uthman insisted that Abdullah remain with him because he possessed complete knowledge of the Quran and because the Prophet spoke highly of him. Of who? Ibn Masud. Ibn Abd had it, and 3 days he succumbed to his injuries. Now, 3 days he succumbed to his injuries. Now, this is a man who could quote the Quran 100%. No.
So I understand what you're saying, but these are I understand what you're saying, but these are not verified sources.
He's a verified source, my friend. I will not lie to you.
Verified sources.
He's a verified source, my friend. I will not lie to you. It's a verified source.
Again, this is what you're saying. These are not. So a lot of the scholars, they don't agree that he was beaten. He was ordered to give up his Quran because the burning of the Qurans was that people would write down Quran and Hadith in the same book. And the burning of the Qurans was that people would write down Quran and Hadith in the same book. And we didn't want to. It's about the Ridda Wars. They didn't pay jizya. They didn't pay the tax.